Welcome everybody to our Chicago Low Brass Day, Low Brass Camp concert. For the last 2 days, all of these fine young ladies and gentlemen have been hanging out in here playing music, trying to learn different fundamental skills and learn about their instrument, learn about music, learn about all kinds of stuff, how to practice. And they've done a great job and made great strides. So we have a fun journey through time prepared for you that we're gonna lead you through. So we begin in the Renaissance, which who's got a fun fact about the Renaissance? Eddie. The trombone was invented exactly in the Renaissance, and everybody can say this together. What was the trombone originally called?
The sackbut.
The sackbut. Yes, that is a true fact. Yes, good. So the trombone was originally called the sackbut. We got another Renaissance fact.
Everybody drank wine.
Everybody drank wine, right? Because you get sick if you drank the water, right? Exactly. So if you can imagine, this piece that we're going to play for you is a group of maybe like French madrigal musicians frolicking through the hills on their way to another city to play some music. This is a really famous piece actually by Susato, which is played by wind ensembles and usually mostly wind ensembles. I played it at Northwestern in the wind ensemble, and we have an arrangement by Bo Atlas to share with you today. So this is Susato's La Morisque. We jump ahead a few hundred years, and actually we should introduce ourselves real quick. My name is Will Baker. I play bass trombone in the Des Moines Symphony with this fine gentleman who we actually met at the end of high school in All-State Honor Band in California. And tell the ladies and gentlemen about yourself.
Hi, I'm Bo Atlas. I play tuba in the Des Moines Symphony with Mr. Baker here, and I also teach tuba at Truman State University in Missouri. So I'm quite a ways. I travel quite a bit around the Midwest.
Yes, actually, fun fact too, we're both from California, so it's odd that we are now both here and both in Des Moines. That's kind of fun stuff. But anyways, so we are going to jump ahead to the next period, which would be the Baroque period, which is most commonly known for music of J.S. Bach. So we're going to play a quick duet of a familiar piece. One thing that happens all the time with low brass instruments is because, as you just heard, the trombone wasn't invented until like the 1500s, and then the tuba came even later. A lot of the most famous music in the world was written for instruments that were older, so like violins and cellos and basses, all the string instruments and some woodwinds. So we often borrow music from those instruments because that music's great, and we have new arrangements of it. So this is a fun arrangement of a piece, I think originally for piano. Here we go. So we made it through the Baroque period, and as we make sure to tell the kids, if it's not Baroque, don't fix it, right? So through the Baroque period, and we move into now, what's the next period, everybody? Classical period, exactly right. That's what I thought too. Awesome. And Doug, you want to talk about some classical period? Or
Yeah,
you guys have any
so
fun
I mean the classical period comes about 1750 with the death of J.S. Bach, who we just played. It goes from about then until the early 1800s, where it kind of has a transitionary period between them. Beethoven is one of those composers that comes very late in the classical period and kind of bridges that gap. And I think this is no more represented than in his Ninth Symphony, which has the famous Ode to Joy in it, which is also our next piece, is a brief excerpt from Symphony No. 9 by Beethoven.
Yes, and do we have any fun facts about Beethoven?
He was deaf.
Yes! Good.
And he cut off the legs of his piano to hear the vibrations because he couldn't hear the actual notes.
Yeah, feel the vibrations. Very nice. So, fun facts about Beethoven. And this is the Ode to Joy from his Ninth Symphony. Into the Romantic period. So Beethoven also, not only was he kind of the endish of this classical period, he kind of transitioned us into the Romantic with all kinds of other wonderful music. A lot of his like piano sonatas get very far away from what maybe Mozart or Haydn would be doing, and get a lot more emotional. And so that's what the music of the Romantic period is all about. And this next piece is exactly that. This is a piece by Gustav Mahler, who I know we got some fun facts about Mahler coming up, but this is from Mahler's First Symphony. So this was happening in the late 1800s. And who wants to give me some fun stuff about Mahler? Justin.
This piece was dedicated to his dead daughter.
Yes, absolutely right. This little melody from the symphony is in remembrance of his daughter. Any other fun facts?
He's from Austria.
Yes, good. Any more?
He's a conductor.
He is a conductor. Very good.
He used his folk tunes in this piece.
Folk tunes. All right, you guys, you covered them all. Very good. So this piece is a little melody from the first symphony. that was actually based on the tune of Frere Jacques. And instead of putting it in a happy major key, he puts it in a minor key, and as like in remembrance to his dog. And also, fun fact, this is a tuba solo in the symphony. So we thought, what better thing to do than teach all the low brass students how to play. So here we go. This is Mahler Symphony Number 1, third movement. 1, 2, 3. The Romantic period kind of went all the way up into the very early 1900s, right before World War I broke out, and everything after that is known as the modern period. And so there's of course, there's lots of different sub categories of modern period, you know, like disco, you know, or all kinds of different things. So, but we chose a fun one that I find. So a lot of these students are I've been teaching privately, and I find that you can get students really fired up by getting them to play music they love. And one of the most commonly asked for pieces is Star Wars. So we did a fun arrangement of the Star Wars theme, and just want to thank everyone for coming out to supporting everyone, and for sending them here to have fun with us. And this is our last little bit from John Williams, his main title theme from Star Wars. 1, 2.